What you call life is death, and what you call death is life. Idea of self creates illusion of life and death. Idea of self is illusory mind-matter phenomenon. Idea of self is illusion. Idea of self gives birth to the idea of existence. Existence is self-hypnotism. Self and existence is joint illusory phenomenon. Idea of self and idea of existence arise simultaneously. When there is no self, then there is no existence. When there is no existence, then there is no self. Existence and non-existence is joint phenomenon. Life and death both are illusions. Life and death are two sides of same coin. Life and death cannot be separated from one another. When there is life, then there is death. Life and death is joint illusory phenomenon. Life and death is habit. Life and death is addiction. Idea of life gives birth to death, and idea of death gives birth to life. Life and death is material activity. Life and death creates the idea of time. Life and death is non-self, mind-matter phenomenon, which is actually void of self. Life and death is circular movement in ignorance, or in other words, the idea of self and non-self is circular movement of life and death. The idea of universal consciousness is non-self, and the idea of self in individual consciousness. Eternity means absence of idea of birth and death. Eternity means beyond self and non-self. What you call self or non-self is death. And when there is complete eradication of the idea of self and non-self, there is wordless eternity which is beyond being and non-being. Body, mind, thinking, desire, fear, greed, feelings, intellect, sense experiences. The idea of self and choice gives birth to idea of self and non-self. And this gives birth to the illusion of birth and death and complete eradication of body, desire, fear, greed, thinking, feeling, intellect, sense experiences. And the idea of self and choice is wordless eternity. The idea of to be something is life, or the idea of nothing is death. But to go beyond something and nothing is to go beyond life and death, and that is wordless eternity which is beyond being and non-being. The idea of being is bondage, an idea of non-being is freedom, and eternity means beyond being and non-being. Both being and non-being or freedom and bondage are ideas of mind only. There is no individuality in existence. The idea of individuality creates the idea of duality. The idea of duality is ignorance. The idea of separate self is illusion. Actually, there is no individuality in life and death. Individuality is illusion, which manifests in ignorance of process of existence. Freedom from idea of self and non-self is self-realization.